A Secret in the Dust, the tale of Hiwote in the sun-scorched village of Debre, nestled in Ethiopia's Amhara region. 19-year-old Hiwote lived a life of relentless toil. Her days began before dawn, fetching water from a distant well, her bare feet kicking up red dust along the rocky path. Their faces were grim, their voices heavy with authority. "Hiwote," said Elder Johans, his beard trembling, "you are too merry. Ato Mengistu, a man of 60 winters." She befriended Leah, a sharp-tongued weaver who whispered village gossip. Leah hinted that Mengistu wasn't what he seemed. "He's not just a farmer," she said one evening, her eyes darting. "Years ago, he traveled to Dubai and returned ... different. Richer, maybe, but he hides it." Hiwote saw an opportunity. She befriended Salam, pretending to be a naive village girl, and learned of a plan to transfer Mengistu's wealth to an offshore account. She contacted a journalist in Addis Ababa, anonymously sending evidence of Mengistu's dealings, photos of the hidden room, copies of documents, and recordings she'd secretly made of Selim's calls. The journalist, hungry for a scoop, arrived in Debre under the guise of a traitor. As Mengistu and Selim's schemes unraveled, the village buzzed with rumors. As she boarded a bus to the city, a cryptic note slipped into her bag. Read, "The game isn't over." Hiwote smiled, clutching the note. Whatever lay ahead, she was no longer just a village girl. She was a force forged in dust and secrets. The elders, complicit in Mengistu's bribes, turned on him to save face. Salam, unaware of Hiwote's discovery, boasted of double-crossing her father, planning to frame him for fraud and flee with the money. Police swarmed the farmhouse, seizing the hidden wealth. Salam, caught off guard, tried to flee but was arrested. Mengistu, humiliated, confessed to siphoning mineral wealth, claiming it was to protect the village. The crowd jeered, their trust shattered. Hiwote's curiosity grew, fueled by the locked door and Mengistu's nightly disappearances. Gasps rippled through the gathered crowd. Mengistu was a dour widower, his face like cracked leather, known for his stinginess and a sprawling farm that yielded little more than weeds. With a hairpin from her mother's old keepsake box, she picked the lock, her heart pounding. She refused to stay Mengistu's wife, annulling the marriage with the elders' support. As she walked away from the farmhouse, Tadesse at her side, Hiwote felt the weight of her poverty lift. The dust of Debre no longer bound her. She was free, her dreams of Addis Ababa within reach. The door creaked open, revealing a staircase descending into darkness. "You're a liar, a thief. This village suffers while you hoard millions." Mengistu's face darkened, but a sly smile crept across it. "You think you're clever, girl? That wealth keeps this village alive. My gifts to the elders, the school fees for your brother. Cross me, and Tadesse begs on the streets." Hiwote was trapped, her silence bought by her brother's future. Below, she found a hidden room, its walls lined with blinking computers and stacks of foreign currency, dollars, euros, and more. A satellite phone buzzed on a desk, and papers bore the logo of a Dubai-based mining company. Hiwote's breath caught. Mengistu was no poor farmer. He was a billionaire, secretly funneling wealth from Ethiopian mineral rights, hoarding it while the village starved. Hiwote's heart plummeted. She dreamed of love, of a life beyond the village's dusty confines, not of being tethered to an old man's whims. Panicked, Hiwote hid behind a crate as a young woman entered. Salam, Mengistu's estranged daughter from a previous marriage, whom the village believed had died years ago. Salam, glamorous and sharp-eyed, was no ghost. She spoke into the satellite phone in flawless English, the old man slipping. "We move the funds to Switzerland tomorrow." Hiwote's mind reeled. Mengistu's wealth wasn't just hidden, it was stolen, and Salam was his accomplice. But the elders were unyielding. Mengistu had promised to fund Tadesse's schooling in the city, a lifeline for her brother's future. With tears stinging her eyes, Hiwote nodded, her dreams buried in the dust. Orphaned at 10, she raised her 12-year-old brother, Tadesse, in a crumbling mud hut, their only inheritance from parents lost to a merciless drought. Mengistu's cold hand clasped Hiwote's, his eyes devoid of warmth. As they moved into his large but dilapidated farmhouse, Hiwote noticed peculiarities. Behind a faded curtain in the main hall was a heavy iron door, locked with a gleaming padlock that seemed out of place in the crumbling home. At night, she heard strange clicks and murmurs from behind it, like the hum of machines. When she asked about it, Mengistu's voice turned sharp. "Stay away or you'll regret it," he growled, his eyes glinting with a secret. The village whispered of Hiwote's beauty, her luminous eyes, tightly braided hair, and a smile that defied her hardships, but poverty clung to her like a shadow, and dreams of studying in Addis Ababa felt as distant as the stars. One sweltering afternoon, the village elders summoned Hiwote to the banyan tree at the heart of Debre. The wedding was a somber affair, the village's meager resources stretched for a feast of injera and watery stew. Hiwote's days as Mengistu's wife were grueling. She cooked, cleaned, and tended the barren fields, but her spirit remained unbroken. One moonless night, unable to sleep, Hiwote crept to the iron door. Mengistu was away, supposedly visiting a neighboring village. Before she could process the discovery, footsteps echoed above. The next day, Hiwote confronted Mengistu, her voice trembling with rage, but the scandal deepened. Leah, ever the gossip, revealed that Salam had returned to claim her father's fortune, plotting to oust him. Hiwote, torn between fear and fury, devised her own plan. The climax came during the annual harvest festival. As the village danced under lantern light, the journalist exposed Mengistu's secret in a live broadcast. In a final twist, Hiwote revealed her role to the village, but not before securing a portion of the recovered wealth for Debre's school and clinic, ensuring Tadesse's education and the village's future. But whispers lingered. Some said Salam had hidden a second fortune, and Hiwote, now the village hero, knew more than she let on.